All
Hello,
right.
everyone, and welcome to Guildmaster Gaming. This time around, we are talking with Grace Hanna. She is the director and co-writer of a short film called Lola that is going to be showing at Film Quest with us this year. So we are really excited to have her. So Grace, please tell us about yourself and your film.
Sure. Hello, everyone. Again, I'm Grace. My film is Lola. It's a short, and I'm super excited about it. It's about a young girl who goes inside her grandmother's mind to try and cure her dementia and wants to save one precious memory they have together.
Okay, so this is kind of a heartfelt topic for a lot of people dealing with that, especially anybody that's had to deal with any level of dementia. So it's obvious that this is, the inspiration for the film is that. Now, are you drawing off of personal instances, or is this building up from people that you know outside of it with other?
Oh, great question. But the film is very personal for me. So I'll make it quick. But growing up, my grandmother, she basically raised me and she taught me how to read and write. She's from the Philippines, so she taught me all about Filipino stories and culture. And then when I was in high school, she started to develop dementia. And I couldn't understand how the woman who taught me all these stories could be the one to forget them. So this film kind of comes from a moment where we had, long after she had forgotten who anyone in our family was, but I was able to sit down with her and share a bowl of ice cream with her, even though she, again, had no idea what my name was even. So it kind of goes to show that no matter what, I think the one thing that transcends like time or memory is love.
So I take it on that level, this was probably a very cathartic experience and probably very tough to go through.
It was. I mean, the actors were so lovely and they were so kind. And on set, like I did get a little emotional, but so did, the other crew. I think, like you mentioned before, so many people are touched by dementia, have a loved one, a grandma, a grandpa, an aunt, an uncle. So I think people were definitely feeling it on set, which is good because then we felt it in the edit, and now I hope you feel it when you watch the film.
There is a lot of emotion that just pours out of the film. Uh, And I think by adding the comic elements that you do in terms of some of the visuals, really kind of help us kind of work through those so that it's not too much over the head, uh,
For sure.
kind of hitting you. So you're a student right now. Is this your thesis project?
Yes, this is my thesis film at AFI.
All right. Congratulations on that and for getting into the festival. So what was when we talk about the inspiration for the film, now it's very much, you can tell, is a very self-contained film.
Mhm.
Very much a beginning in. So are there any plans of going on with this film in any way, or is this story kind of done?
Sure. So initially, we had no idea. We thought it would just be a short, but I guess over the months of redeveloping the script, we were like, oh, this really feels like it could be a feature. And we actually, this is really exciting. We just won the From Minutes to Movie Short Fest, which is like this festival that's put on by like Adobe and Imagine Entertainment. And basically, the top three get to like meet with Adobe and pitch our ideas, in the form of a feature. So that's what we're working on now, the feature version of it.
Oh, well, congratulations there. So
Thank you.
so that's something we can kind of look forward with it. So now that we know you're going to be at Film Quest, and it sounds like you've been on a few other things. So whereabouts are you in your festival run? Is this the beginning, the middle?
Oh
Whereabouts?
goodness. I think we're a middle approaching, the end. Like the finish line is hopefully in sight. A few more months.
Okay. So kind of based on that, has there been any nibbles that have been shown to you for distribution?
Not yet, not yet. So we're looking if anyone wants to distribute, please let me know.
Yeah. So do you have any plans maybe of if it doesn't get picked up by somebody, do you have any plans of your own to kind of get it out there into the public eye?
Oh, that's a great question. I mean, I would love for it to be accessible to everyone, so even Vimeo, maybe hopefully getting a Vimeo staff pick, something like that, just so I want everyone to see the film because I hope it can touch anyone who needs it.
I'm just going to throw this out because I've worked with a film dealing with depression and suicide. So I
Mhm.
know there's mental health groups out there that would probably be very interested in having access to your film just because it has that level of personal touch to kind of maybe help people work through some of the issues.
Mm.
So I'm just going to throw that out there
Oh,
and just leave it.
I would love that. I'll keep that in mind. Thank you.
Uh, so, we kind of talked about, okay, so you've got this and it seems like your energies are really focused onto doing it into a feature. So kind of finishing up with all this is, um, well, let's stick with the film for a little bit. We talked about, the inspiration for the story. What
Mhm.
was your inspiration for the visuals that you
Mhm.
decided to use on this? Because they do add just such a fun element to such a harsh topic.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. So, like you said, we wanted to make sure that the film at least looked lighthearted because it was dealing with some pretty heavy stuff. And we also wanted it to be kid friendly. So, with that, we took a lot of inspiration from, the Daniels, like Everything Everywhere All at Once, just because, again, like that movie makes me cry so much. But at the end of the day, it also makes you laugh, It's what is it? A drama that makes you laugh and a comedy that makes you cry. So we definitely took a page out of their book. And of course, I think I love Gondry. So like Eternal Sunshine, obviously with Memory and the helmet, that was also a big reference for us, at least production design wise.
Okay. So that's the inspirations now for the film. We kind of know where that's going and everything. Uh, let's talk about Grace for a little bit.
Sure.
You're finishing up your schooling, but what was your inspiration to become a filmmaker?
Oh, well, so this is a funny one. My professor calls this like our kingfisher wound. It's like the unhealed part of us that calls us to be an artist. And he like asked us to explore what ours was. So I think mine perhaps was like growing up. I hated taking those Scantron tests in school because I whenever you had to fill out your ethnicity, I had to fill in the bubble for other. Because my mom is from the Philippines, my dad is from Egypt. Those are very specific, not in Scantron bubble. But I think always filling in that other bubble kind of made me see myself as other and made me see the world differently. So one thing I really wanted to do growing up was escape, so I would escape into all these books. I love Neil Gaiman, I loved Stephen King, I loved fantasy, I loved horror. I just wanted to root for like the anti-hero or the underdog because that's what I felt I was. And I think that's why I wanted to be a filmmaker, to kind of hopefully inspire other people who feel othered so they can watch my work and feel like they belong.
Okay. And so you took this one into the fantastic realms. So that's,
Yes.
a lot of fun there. So kind of looking forward then, do you have other projects besides your feature possibility that you're working on or looking at?
Yes, yes. We have another short film. It's kind of magical realism fantasy. It's about a young sitcom actor who goes home to see his ailing mother and estranged family. And when he walks through the front door, his life becomes a sitcom. So that's kind of how he's dealing with his grief.
Okay. If my life came with a laugh track, I think I'd be in dire problems.
Me too. Me too.
So I can see that would be a lot of fun. Anything else that you've got out there?
Um, I think that's pretty much it. Just working on developing that feature as well.
Okay. So we've kind of, this is going pretty quick. I got to tell you, I'm so used to people that are like, here's my life story. Uh,
Oh my goodness. I feel like I've told you my life story. Told you my kingfisher wound. Yeah.
so, you're talking about dealing with, ethnicity and being on the fringe and being different.
Yeah.
So I'm going to kind of just ask them along those lines because I know so many people that are artistic bend
Yeah.
of any type of being a creative feel that way. Have you
Mhm.
felt like there's certain aspects of your own, being on that fringe that you've been able to bring into your storytelling and share? And how do you do that if you do?
Absolutely. I do think that, being othered and feeling like people perceive you differently, it does make you, I hope a kinder person, or it makes you look at people with more like compassion or understanding. So I hope that like even if people do feel like they're on the fringe, they like take that feeling and rather than like, I don't know, at least just treat other people with kindness, maybe the way they wish they were treated themselves, and become really good collaborators, or don't know, something like that.
No, I think you've got some good things. The level of empathy that we have usually from
Yes,
coming from the fringe side of things and being able to look at things from a broader perspective. Uh,
absolutely.
Looking from the outside in instead of the inside out of all the groups.
Oh, I love that. I'm going to steal that one. Yes. The outside in instead of the inside out.
So we got this, then you've got where you're coming from, how you kind of worked on your story and everything.
Mhm.
So, I'm trying to think of, you know, this has such a unique look. I keep kind of having the visuals pop up of the memory cabinets and things like
Yeah.
this. Did you mentioned the inspirations for those parts, and I take it Lola is an inspiration of your grandmother. So
Mhm.
did you cast yourself in the other role?
That's a great question. No, I wish I was that smart, or like I wish I felt like I could have changed something, when my grandma had her dementia. I think the way I handled it was very true to life or very realistic. My mom was a nurse, so she told me like, "Oh, if your Lola starts talking about things and, maybe she's mentioning the wrong people, just go along with it." I feel like Tessie, the main character, does the opposite. She's very much like, I need you to remember this right now. And I think maybe, I guess in a way, that was what I was on the inside when I started seeing my Lola's dementia, but not actually how I acted. So maybe you're right. Maybe it is cathartic in the sense that I wish I could have been Tessie, but
Okay,
I wasn't.
maybe reaching for that little bit more. So I since we're kind of talking about the empathetics and dealing with Alzheimer's and that, have you been involved outside of your family with any of the organizations to kind of get the feel for what this film should be portraying?
Yeah, so we were really lucky. There's a nonprofit called the Ginny Gibbs Grant, and they're basically a dementia-focused organization, and they gave us a grant for our production. So they gave us a lot of material, and they also read our script, and I guess they gave, the check mark. And then another organization we worked with, at AFI, we have a Sloan representative, so we'd also kind of went through him and just kind of ticking off like, oh yeah, these are some symptoms of what people who have dementia would deal with.
Yeah, we have a few films at the festival this year that are dealing with different types of issues. That's why it's kind of a topic that's coming up, I think is very, very unique about the people living on the fringe. So I congratulate you for embracing such a harsh topic, uh,
Sure.
one that can be very hurtful to ourselves, not so much to others, but to ourselves as we work through it. So kind of moving a little bit differently then, you're dealing with this really in deep stuff, you working, getting your degree finished up, doing your
Mhm.
thesis project. What do you like to do for fun to break loose and relax?
Oh, that's a great question. Oh, I have two loves in life. I love pottery. I love taking like pottery classes just because it's so different from my normal day-to-day life. And I also have, this is very silly, I have two parakeets and I absolutely love them. They're very sweet.
Right.
Snowy and Luna, those are their names.
Pets are important.
Yes, I think so.
That's why the door stays open, because if otherwise my cats will sit out there and claw at the door and mew.
Yeah, of
But a lot of
course.
times if it's open, they're not there now, but a lot of times they'll just lay out there and listen. It's like,
Oh, that's so sweet. They just want to spend all the time with you, Dan. That's what they do.
luckily the wife's home and they're with her.
Oh, okay, good, good. At least they're not alone. They can't be alone.
No, that's an eye boy, we got two.
Oh, there you go. There you
Okay,
go.
so we've talked, that's what you do for fun. This is where your film's going. It seems like you got a lot of stuff taking place. So let me kind of put it another thing. You are now finishing up your program. You probably
Mhm.
have learned a lot. You've gotten a lot of advice about how to start your career out, what you need to be doing. If someone came to you now and said, I want to be a filmmaker,
Yeah.
what advice would you give them?
Oh, goodness. Oh, it's so hard with for a second, being honest, with the industry being the way it is, it's tough after COVID, after the strikes, after the streaming bubble burst. I feel like it's harder than ever to be a filmmaker, just to put that realistic view out there. But that being said, I had an old boss, and he used to tell me this all the time. And I used to think it was like so simple, but it really is true. He used to tell me, write what you can shoot, shoot what you can edit, and edit what you can finish. And he was like 10 out of 10, completion trumps perfection. And I think me and so many other artists are perfectionists. We want to keep on like working and tweaking until we get it right. But sometimes you just need to know, I guess, when to let go and to call, finish a project so you can get on to the next one and just keep practicing.
I can't remember who it was. I want to say it was Da Vinci, but I might be like Michelangelo, one of the major arts.
Yeah.
Art is never finished. It's abandoned.
Oh, oh, I feel that. I feel that in my soul. Yes, it's true.
So I can see where you're coming from on that. So, we'll kind of just wrap things up here now, and say, thank you for being with us. And we're going to tell everybody, please get out to the theaters to see this film. Lola, it is, if you've known anybody or if you've dealt with dementia in your own family, um, this will hit. I mean, it's an emotional push on you. But like I said, it's got a nice uplifting part of it so that you can understand that it's not the end, but
Yeah.
I guess in a way it's a new beginning that they come across. So it's really a lot of fun. And you're going to be at Film Quest for the latter half if people want to come out and meet you. So we've got that going also. So we're going to end up with one last thing. We're going to let you practice your Oscar speech.
Oh my
Any other final thank yous, call outs, anything else you would
goodness.
like to say?
Oh, great, great ending, great ending. I mean, I have to thank my entire team, my lovely AFI thesis team, and not just AFI, everyone who worked on the project. Truly, it was an AFI USC like joint production. So to each and every person who worked on the film, thank you to them. It wouldn't have been done without them. Truly, it takes a village, and we were so lucky. And then also, a shout out to my family who has been so supportive, and I don't know, has always supported my delusions, basically. So great, great for them. And also to my Lola, I hope, wherever she is, she's proud.
Thank you very much. And again, everybody, please get out and to support the independent artists of all types. Uh, I mean, that's where the creativity is really coming from, stronger and stronger. It's a lot of fun to see what's happening at the festivals, in the art scene, in the books, all the way around. And again, thank you for joining us. And everybody, we'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you so much.